They got a question for you. What do you think of Shemar James? Through his first 2 NFL games, he has tallied 20 tackles, 15 of them yesterday. Has only 1 missed tackle on that stretch here from the Twitter account of Brandon Laurie. 95.2% tackle efficiency, the best among Cowboys linebackers. When I'm watching Shemar James, I don't see a guy that I'm expecting to have like an all-pro career. What do you guys see when you're watching him? Like, how much of a find is Shemar James here for the Cowboys defense?
Really good athlete. Certainly flies around. I thought he was all over the field yesterday. I know post-game you had the next-gen stats about the coverage stuff. Did that change at all when you went back and watched the All-22? Did he do a better job? I mean, he was really good, I thought, in terms of making tackles, but...
I felt like he gave up every single reception that went his way. He gave it up, and then he just made the tackle.
Yeah, that was...
There's something to be said about that.
Yeah, the thing, too, I thought he struggled in run defense. You know, there were a couple times where he ran under and around some blocks where when they blocked like we always talk about, they blocked the front. They got guys pinned. They got guys turned. And now it's linebackers on blockers. And then instead of like being aware and running like, okay, I see it, it's coming this way, he tried to go around a block. And now it's Breece Hall's, 10, 15 yards more up the field.
And I think that's the Achilles heel to this run defense. I mean, the linebacker play.
I think the linebacker play is not been really great. I'm going to say that I think the defensive line let you down last night playing run defense when you go back and watch them play.
Yeah, I mean, they were getting pushed around pretty bad.
They
Clowney, Clark, Thomas, Osa.
All of them. There was nobody that, and we talked about it after the game. Remember, we were just saying, well, the metrics are telling you that guys in the field, it was 8 yards of carry here, 7 yards of carry here. The All-22 showed that. They really struggled. They struggled as an a defensive line in making those plays.
Now, how do you like a future trio of James, Leafau, and Overshone? If you're looking at that group going into next year's offseason, do you want to spend some money? Do you want to draft a guy fairly high? Or are you like, you know what, we might have actually cobbled together a decent little group here?
I think you got to draft a guy pretty high.
Yeah. I think you do too. I think you need a legitimate Mike linebacker out of that group, is what I would say. I think that Leafau, you want to play him. I don't think you want him covered. I mean, covered like a guy, like playing him as a strong side. I think you let him run. Yeah. Overshone, you got to let run. But yeah, they need a true Mike linebacker.
And James in coverage, I mean, that was the issue at Florida. He was a really good downhill player.
And
blitzing was good.
And he had some blitzes where he got a pressure and you could see him. They used Murray as the spy guy in this game. Yeah. Is what they did. And then they would bring, then like you would see James and others and those guys rushing. But yeah, it was not a good day. I mean, the 15 tackles and stuff, a lot of it is because he's having to make a play. It wasn't.
He's given up a pass 10 yards down the field, and he has to tackle
for making those tackles.
No, absolutely.
I mean, Sanborn was missing tackles. No, I think he was an upgrade over Jack Sanborn.
He needs to play before Sanborn. He absolutely.
No, Sanborn's terrible.
He needs to play before Sanborn.
But none of the linebackers are very good.
No.
Yeah. That's it's tough right there, and it's no wonder that you're going to have games like that throughout the season where you're just searching and looking for somebody. But I think at least you have guys that are doing some stuff well. I still feel like they're missing Overshone's blitz ability as well, Brian. Whenever they send extra guys, it's like they're not really getting home.
They did something yesterday they haven't done in 4 other games, and that's rush the passer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the other games too, they played a little bit better run defense. So you did get an upgrade rushing the passer, but you got clobbered on run defense. Yeah. And fortunately, your offense did enough to keep them from running the football.
Haven't they put enough good tape out there, though, that you would think, by and large, they are going to stop the run? It's a tough situation once you, add a running quarterback into the mix. That changes everybody's instincts.
Man, that wasn't the factor. I don't think so. I think that they handed the ball to Breece Hall, and Breece Hall just attacks holes. It wasn't like, we're jumping out of gaps because we're worried about RPO stuff. It was just straight.
Yeah, but four games of having a pretty good handle on it.
I wouldn't run the ball against Dallas if it was me in the first 4 games. I wouldn't have run the ball at all. Not the way that they lack pass rush and the way they were covering, the way they were giving up big plays. No reason to run the ball against these guys.
Yeah, I still think the run defense is living a little bit on what happened versus Philadelphia at a time where we thought Philadelphia was going to be able to run the ball. We've learned that Philadelphia can't run the ball on anybody.
This group right here wasn't a compromised offensive line. They've faced some compromised offensive lines last several weeks with guys being out and stuff like that.
Jets are a good run blocking line.
We knew it was probably going to be a little bit of a problem, but I do worry about this run defense, especially if you're going to tell me that they're going to block Kenny Clark one-on-one.
Yeah, because the linebackers aren't good.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, if you get to the second level, I mean, that's been you just can't allow backs to get to the second level with ease.
All right, up next here on Cowboys Twitter, Javvante Williams, second among all running backs in yards after contact as well. That's 326 over 5 games after contact. Are you guys ready to get an extension done here? Like, how sold are you on Javvante Williams?
His evaluation is $10.7 million according to overthecap.com.
That's the type of value he's bringing to you?
Yeah, $10.7 million.
But yeah, I'm absolutely sold. I mean, this was a player that was a second-round pick and is now healthy again. And he's looking like the guy that his rookie year we felt, okay, this could be one of the best young running backs in the league, and then he has the injury, and now he's got the same contact balance, the ability to break tackles, run after contact. Like, he's been absolutely phenomenal, and he's always falling forward, and he is making people miss. I mean, that play we were breaking down in the postgame yesterday, Brian, that was
I thought it was a play of the game for him. You could talk about some of the runs, and he didn't have a whole lot. I mean, the long run, but the run he had where it was 3rd and 1, and he was trapped behind the line of scrimmage.
They're running out of shotgun.
I think it was. Yeah, they were on the Jets 30-yard line or 31, and
because the next play was the 26-yard touchdown to Ferg.
Yeah, next play was the pass. So he gets a first down. If they don't get that first down, Shoddy might be kicking a field goal there. So they went ahead and he got the first down after getting hit in the backfield. I think could have been a -2. Very easy.
I would just add that, Rico Dowdle, while he had a monster game yesterday for Carolina, he was really good for the Cowboys last year, 6th in the league at run success rate. And now you have Javvante Williams. I mean, Miles Sanders has popped some pretty good runs. Jaden Blue didn't yesterday. But the point would be, is this replacement level plus light boxes in a good scheme? Like how many more guys? Do you have to pay a guy $10 million?
He averaged, I think he averaged like 4.5 yards against the stack box yesterday. Yeah. So that's a good number for him.
So what's changed for him? Because last year he had a better offensive line in Denver and was at 3.6 in the
I don't think he was healthy.
Yeah, I think health.
Sean says he wasn't healthy. Sean's like, listen, the guy's 2 years removed. He's going to be a lot better for you. He goes, we just moved on, and I'm like, well, okay. And he goes, but trust me. He goes, the guy has ability. Sean was trying to convince me the guy was a really good player. He really did. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Thanks. But he was right. This guy, when you put the pads and you put him on the field to play games, he's a much better player than he is T-shirts and helmets.
Let's get a Jerry Jones quote from last night. It went viral. It says, the main thing I want to say is the credibility of our coaches just went up today in the eyes of the players, and everybody in my mind should have the same feeling. A great coaching job today. Shoddy saying this football team is made up of the right stuff. That's why we're going to win a lot of games. There was an interesting amount of confidence going into this one, and the guys talked about it last night, how they just believed, even though they were down so many players, there's an aura of excitement around this football team. You heard it from Jerry and Steven last week right here on 105.3 The Fan. So I do feel that way about the coaches, and maybe I'm going to get killed on this on the text and on Twitter, but I feel like the coaches have done such a good job, and the way Dak Prescott is playing, I don't think this is their year, but I think their year is coming. They're at least getting back to an NFC Championship game at some point in the next 3 seasons. Buy it or sell it.
Ooh, well, I think they'll have, they should have the offense for it. Hopefully they can keep some continuity when it comes to the coaching staff and things like that. But they've shown now that offensively they're going to be able to go toe-to-toe even when they're outmanned. And not only with the skill guys, but also on the offensive line. So I think offensively they will have that rocking and rolling. But this defense is going to need a lot of help over those next 3 years before this team you can feel good about actually making a run here. But,
yeah, they need 3 or 4 players, on defense at least.
Yeah, I would say at least, yeah.
But this offense, with everything that's gone, it makes me feel like Dak plus scheme. I'm making Flanoy look good.
Mm-hmm.
This is like Romo with Laurent Robinson. This is no. You have some things going on now with this team that you could really point, at the flaws of what the front office had identified with your coaching staff over the last 15 years. Like, these guys just are not giving you an advantage on game day. Now the advantage is so significant that in situations in the past where you lose this many starters, your offense goes completely out. It was like it was just as good.
I know.
It
was awesome.
So I think that goes to the play calling, the marrying of your run game with your passing game, and keeping defenses guessing constantly on what are we doing? Are we running? Are we passing? What kind of run are we doing? And with the play diversity like that, in the offseason, Chief, when you would talk about how the difference of what a great coaching staff can get you, I thought you were overselling it. This has convinced me. The great coaching staff with average players can produce results week in and week out in the NFL as long as you have the right quarterback.
Yeah, and right now you absolutely do. And you mentioned it, like the diversity of the rushing attack and just the offense in general, keeping defenses on their heels. Everything is rocking right now. And there's no question that even though it was the Jets, if this was a previous coaching staff over the last 15 years, if you do win that game, you eke it out, and you got some crazy fortunate bounces. Probably some special team stuff happened, but by and large, like you're probably scoring like 17 points, and you're hoping you're beating a team that's constantly giving up 30.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm not sure I'm not an OC, so I don't know all the terminology, but like these trap blocks that the guard is coming over and knocking the living snot out of Quinnen Williams. Just a couple of those are gonna make defensive linemen think twice about I'm shooting through this gap. I've done it twice so far, and the opposite side guard has come over and ear-holed me, right? And that's something that, if you call the outside zone and he jumps through that gap, you hit your guy for a loss of 2. But when you're pulling that trap or the counter and guys are coming from the opposite side to come through and reinforce, now I got to think about as a defensive lineman 2-gapping a little bit because I'm sick of getting ear-holed and I'm sick of getting pushed out of position on these traps. And those are the things that the Cowboys are now doing that allow them to win when they are outmatched from some of these great fronts, whether it was the Giants or whoever it is that they face so far.
And shout out to the fullback stuff too. Like I thought Lipke played well yesterday.
Yeah, I mean the big third down conversion he had, and Fergie got the block downfield, but special teams wise, thought he was really good, and he did. I mean, I thought that the blocking also was pretty darn good with Lipke. He's really good at that one-man screen game too, which they'll throw out there.
Yes, they got a real screen game now. Holy cow!
That's probably their best screen. Yeah.
What do you call that? A convoy screen, or what?
I don't know. It's like a single. It's like a one-man screen, is what it is. That are you talking about the touchdown or the one?
The one to Ferguson.
The one to Ferguson.
Yeah, 27 yards.
Actually, it's interesting because what they did was they pulled the center as the peel. That he came back to block inside.
Yeah.
The 2 tackles got out. So
Thomas had a big time block, and then Steele's hauling ass out there.
It's usually to the side of the field wherever you're running the screen. You get those 3 guys out. No, they brought their center and they kept their 2 guards inside to block, and then brought their tackles, which is an interesting way of doing it. But man, they got everything out clean though.
It looked to the defense like it was going to be a run going the other way, and that's just beautiful play design. Yeah. Dak has 38 career games with at least 3 touchdown passes now. He does surpass Favre for the 6th most ever by a player in his first 10 seasons in the NFL. Could Dak really be MVP? That's a conversation that's out there, and some of the fans that made the trip up to MetLife were chanting that out at him. I think the numbers got to be 11 games to make this legit, but man, that would be outperforming. You really got to go on a run here over these next 5 games before you get to that nightmare trio. I think it's Chiefs, Lions, and Eagles from like late November in through mid-December. Can you win every game until then? I think you can. Denver's not going to be a pushover. Washington in a couple of weeks is not going to be a pushover, but I think he's in the conversation, clearly. I mean, if Sam Darnold is up in Seattle, then Dak Prescott absolutely is. And I think as this season goes, if you maintain this level of play, as much as the media is into analytics right now, it's just going to continue to speak louder and louder and become more of a safe narrative. I feel like after 5 games, everything that Dak Prescott has been through, there's a lot of media members that have entrenched opinions, and it's going to take some time in order for them to.
A lot of fans have that too.
Yeah.
They're the fans. We caught this last night in the post-game show. If you're a fan of Dak Prescott, good for you. If you don't like Dak Prescott, well, it's a shame. You should probably like him for how he's playing.
At least like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people that are so dug in right now that they're not going to allow Dak having success. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to enjoy it. They don't want to believe it, and that's a shame. I mean,
it's a tough way to be a fan.
Listen, there's things we've said on this show about Dak, but I know that we've acknowledged that how well he is playing. Yeah. But there are people that are so dug in that they're like, when the minute, but it's on both ways. The people who are like, oh, I told you about Dak, and then there's the people like, well, I'll never pull for Dak.
This is different enough where it's at a point in his career where you reevaluate what you think of the guy. Yeah. Quarterbacks go through stages in their life. Like Rich Gannon wasn't good till he hit about 33 years old. And then he was playing at a damn MVP level. Like things happen. You get in better situations. You decide I'm not going to let this beat me anymore. And you show up a different player. And I think it's a testament to Dak, but also the greatness of the coaching staff around him, putting him in a much better position to succeed. And it's okay to reevaluate. I think if you were opposed to believing that Dak is elite up until this season, I'd go there with you. Yeah. But through 5 games, the data is saying he's made a significant jump. The pressure's not bothering him like it used to.
No, it's not. And like I said, you can acknowledge, if you're not a Dak Prescott fan, you can acknowledge that he is playing very well. Even though the team is 2-2-1, he's one of the reasons why you're hanging in there right now with all the things, all the craziness going on. And I just think you have to have that ability to say, hey, this guy he's playing at a very, very high level, and I didn't think he would do that, but here we are.
817, Dak has to show he can do it in big games against big-time opponents. I mean, the Packers, 40 points. What more do you want from Dak there? And then no offensive lineman, CeeDee Lamb out, 37. It's
their worst game was the Bears game by far.
Sure.
Offensively.
And you're going to have those.
Yeah.
You're going to have CD 6 plays in, and they weren't prepared for that.